हॅलो हॅलो मॅम
येस
तुमचं
मॅम.
काहीच ऐकू येत नाहीये. हॅलो
फक्त स्क्रीन प्रेझेंट होतीये.
तुमचं माईक म्यूट आहे मॅम. फक्त स्क्रीन प्रेझेंट होते, माईक तुमचा म्यूट आहे. अच्छा. मॅडम हॅलो नाव एम आय ऑडिबल.
हॅलो. हां.
येस मॅडम येस.
येस मॅम. येस मॅम.
ओके.
नाही
हां. हॅलो. हां. एम आय ऑडिबल नाव?
येस मॅम.
Okay, so we have to once again start with the starting of the slide. So we have to start the unit number 2, that is introduction to procedural programming in Python. In the procedural programming, everybody knows we have some basic building blocks, some basic terminologies which we require to execute the procedural programming, or any of the, if you want to execute any of the program, we require some basic building blocks and some terminologies like data types, then variables, function. All these are the basic terminologies regarding the programming. Likewise, we have basic some terminologies like data types, function, exception handling. All these terminologies we are going to cover in the second unit. To complete this unit, we required 4 hours. The syllabus is first we have to cover the data types and collection data types, then control structure and functions, then exception handling and custom functions. So all these points we have to cover in the second unit. Then central idea of the chapter is as everybody knows what do you mean by procedural programming language. Like C is a procedural programming language, where we have to mainly focus on the functions, how the function is going to execute. In the C language there is a sequential execution where the step by step the execution is going on. Likewise, we have to execute the Python program, and we have to focus on the functions. So it is the central idea of the chapter. Then importance of the chapter is procedure oriented or a procedural programming language. That means we have to focus on the function. That function, it is nothing but the small block which we have to divide it from our basic programming. Then that particular block is going to execute whenever we have to call that particular block, or we have to call that particular function. Then and then only that function or block is going to execute. Likewise here, that procedure, it is nothing but the routines or the functions where which are going to execute whenever we are going to call it. Then these are the some reference books which I have given for the second unit. Then it is actually the syllabus, data type, but before that we should know little bit about the Python and some commands which we required to learn Python more. So we have to start we have to start with the Python basic syntax. Okay, everybody knows what do you mean by syntax. Syntax, it is nothing but the grammar of our programming language. Whatever syntax they have defined, we have to use it as it is. Whatever they have defined, we cannot change the syntax for any of the programming language. Likewise, Python is also having the syntax, having some terminologies, having some building blocks properties which they have given to programmer use it directly, like some keywords they have given. So we can use the keywords as it is in the Python programming. Likewise, we have to see some basic syntax for the Python. Like just like a natural languages, a computer programming language comprise a set of predefined words which are called keywords. I think everybody knows what do you mean by keyword. Keyword, these are the predefined words which are having some specific meaning, and we cannot change the meaning of that particular keywords. For example, we have a keyword like if, for, while, extend, then import. All these are the keywords. We cannot change the meaning, and we cannot change the spelling also of that respective keywords. Okay, a prescribed rule of usage of each keyword is called a syntax. Python 3.x interpret as a 33 keywords defined in it. Actually, I have a table of that these 33 keywords. Uh, the list of Python keywords can be obtained using the following help command in Python shell. Suppose you want to find out the help of that particular keyword, then we can find it with the help of help command. So we can execute it. Suppose we have a keyword here. These are the 33 keywords which we are going to use in the Python language. Out of that, first three keywords, first three keywords which are having some capital letters, or the first letter is capital. All the remaining keywords which are having the everything is on the lowercase. Here I have written the statement except for the first three, fails, none, and true. The other keywords are entirely in the lowercase. Suppose we want to find out the help, or if you want to find out the meaning of that respective keywords, we can run the command help and keywords. We will check it on the Python shell. What was the command they have given? Help. In double quote, we can write here if. Just write only help if. Okay, it will give us the information regarding the if keyword. What is the use of if? If it is used to execute the conditional execution. Everybody knows the what is the use of if. If we want to execute the code according to the one particular condition, then we are going to use the if statement. Then they have given some what they have given here, the syntax also they have given, and they have given little bit information regarding the if statement. Likewise, we can find out the information of all the other keywords. You can check it on your prompt or on your shell. By using the help command, we can read the information regarding all the keywords. Are you getting it? Then Python identifiers. Okay, who will tell me the definition? What do you mean by identifiers? What do you mean by Python, or the basic meaning of identifiers? Identifiers are nothing but the whatever name we have given to the module, package, class, function, variable, then structure. Whatever name we have given to that respective terminology, it is nothing but the identifier. For example, Suppose I have created the variable integer a, then a is the name of variable, and that name, it is nothing but the identifier. By using that name, we can identify the respective terminology or the respective term we are going to identify by using that particular identifier or the name, whatever we have assigned to the that particular term. Like suppose I have a function like add, then add is the name of that respective function. So add is the identifier. It work as an identifier to identify the particular function. So whatever name we have assigned to the variable, function, class, structure, module, packages, it is nothing but the identifier. Okay, as they have given here, apart from keywords, a Python program can have a variables, functions, classes, modules, packages, etc. etc. Identifier is the name given to these programming elements. Whatever elements we are going to use, whatever name we have assigned to that to these elements, it is nothing but the identifiers. Okay, an identifier should start with either an alphabet. There are some rules. I think everybody have to remember the rules how to naming, how we assign, give the name to the variable. In the C language, we have seen there are, and the same rules we are going to follow in the Python language. Little bit same rules we are going to follow in the Python language also. Whenever we want to give some name to the any of the element, or suppose we want to give the name to the function, to the variable, we have to follow these rules. And these rules are, an identifier should start with either an alphabet letter, lowercase or uppercase, or an underscore. Only underscore symbol we can use to give the identifier. We cannot use another symbol like a dash, star, hash. These symbols we cannot be used to give the name to the variable or to the function or to the class. And every identifier should start with the alphabet. That alphabet may be lowercase, may be uppercase, or an underscore. Then after that, more than one alphabet letters, that is A to Z or capital A to Z, digits 0 to 9 or underscores may be used to form an identifier. If the first rule is your first letter should be the alphabet, it may be lowercase, uppercase, or it may be the underscore symbol. After that, you can combine any of the combination of A to Z, that is small a to Z, capital A to Z, or digit 0 to 9 or underscore. No other characters are allowed. Just I have seen that special symbols we cannot be used to give the identifier. Are you getting what do you mean by identifier? And there are some naming rules for the identifier. Okay, are you getting it? Are you getting what do you mean by identifier? Identifiers is the name given to this programming elements, and the programming elements are like variable, function, class, module, packages. All these are the programming elements. Whatever name we have to assign to these elements, it is nothing but the identifier. Then there are some rules to give the name to that respective elements, like the whenever we are assigning the name to the respective element, the first character, it should be alphabet. It may be lowercase, uppercase, or an underscore. Then after that letter, we can combine any of the combination from small a to z, capital A to z, or 0 to 9, or underscore combination. Only the underscore symbol we can be used. No other special symbol we can use for the identifier. Okay. Then conventionally, the name of the class begins with an uppercase alphabet letter. Others start with the lowercase alphabet letters. Normally, in the Java language, whenever we want to define the class, we have to use the class name. The first letter is capital. Then use of one or two underscore characters has a special significance when naming the instances attribute of a class. More about this will follow in the discussion about the inheritance. Normally, we can use multiple underscore symbols before the character or after the character. It is valid, no issue. Then identifiers are the case sensitive. The last statement is identifiers are the case sensitive. Identifiers are the case sensitive. That means age, that is small letters age, and age which is having the a capital, which are different, because all the identifiers are the case sensitive. If you have declared a variable whose name is age, and the another variable whose name is age, whose a is capital, then both are the different meaning. The general meaning is same, but the spelling is different, so the both the identifiers are the different, because the identifiers are the case sensitive. Then the next important terminology, that is Python statement. Everybody knows in the C, C++, we have to write the statement on the editor, and whenever we have to put the semicolon, it indicates that it is the end of the statement. Okay, it is the end of statement. It is a normal C, C++, in the C sharp it happens. But by default, the Python interpreter treated a piece of the text terminated by hard caret return new line character as a one statement. Normally, whenever we are writing the Python program on the Python interpreter, simply when we have to enter, when we have to hit the enter key, that particular first statement, it is considered as a single statement. Whatever, suppose we have to open the Python interpreter, then we have to write some code or one statement we have written. Whenever we have to hit the enter key, the cursor is go to the next line. The first statement, it is the complete statement, and whenever we have to hit the enter key, it indicates that it is the end of statement. Here they have given here the explanation, like the Python interpreter treats a piece of text terminated by hard caret return like a new line character, or whenever you have to hit the enter key, it indicates that it is the end of statement. Are you getting it? In Python, whenever you hit the enter keyword, it indicates that it is the end of statement. Okay, it means each line in a Python script is a statement. Then I have given here a simple example, like message is equal to hello world. After that, we have to hit the enter key. It indicates that message is equal to hello world. It is a single statement. After that, we have to write the code is equal to 1, 2, 3. After that, we have to hit the enter key. It indicates that code 1, 2, 3. It is the statement. Then name is equal to Steve. After that, we have to hit the enter key. It indicates that name is equal to Steve. It is the statement in the Python language. No need to mention the semicolon. As we have discussed, we have seen in the C, C++, C sharp, we have to mention the semicolon to indicate that it is the end of statement. But in the Python programming language, just we have to use the hard caret return or the new line character, or whenever we have to hit the enter key, it indicates that it is the end of statement. Okay, there are multiple ways to indicate the end of the statement. But normally we are going to use that enter key to indicate the it is the end of a statement, or it is a single statement which Python interpreter is going to execute. Then we can what we have to say, slash we can use backslash, uh, what they have given here. However, you can show the text spread over more than one lines to be a single statement by using a backslash. Suppose I want to write a long message, and it may be occurred in multiple lines. It may be occurred in one, two line, three line, four lines. So at that time, I can indicate a slash at the end of first line. Then I can continue the message in the second line. Again, if that slash, I will put the slash at the second line, and again I will put the third line. And whenever I have to enter the message, or whenever I have hit the enter message, it is the end of statement. Now what happened here? We will see it. Suppose we have a message which is having the length of 3-4 lines. Then what happened here? First we have to write here the message. First we have to write here the message. Then slash, it indicates that the message is going to continue. At the next line, we have to write the next part of the message. Then again slash, and then next part of the message. Whenever we have to enter here the hit or hit here the enter key, it indicates that it is the end of statement. We will see it with the execution. Can we copy it? File, new file. We can write here. Here we have a single message that is hello Pythonista. Welcome to the Python tutorial from tutorialteachers.com. It is a single message. We can write it in a single line or we can write it in a multiple line. But whenever you want to terminate the line, you can mention here the slash. Okay. So we have to check it. We have to execute it. Do you know this step of execution on this editor? You have to go to run and run module. Okay, all this statement is going to execute and it will print all message in a single line. But we can write it in a multiple line, simply assigning the slash. Okay. It is the second way to write the statement in a Python language. First way is like this. It is the first way to write the statement in the Python language. Simply we have to write the statement, and just whenever we have to hit the enter key, it indicates that it is the end of statement. Then if we want to write a single statement within a multiple lines, then we have to use the backslash to continue the character. Okay. Then we have a third method, that is similarly use the semicolon to write multiple statements in a single line. Suppose we have a multiple statement, we can write the multiple statement within a single line. Within a single line, we can write a multiple statement, but each and every statement should be separated by the semicolon. Are you getting? Each and every statement should be separated by the semicolon. Now we will see here. We have a first statement. What is our first statement? That is message. We have a message. Message is equal to hello world. Then I want to print this message on the screen. Instead of I have to enter by hitting the enter key, I just mention here semicolon, and I have to write the second code, that is print message. Okay, then I have to assign again semicolon, and I have to write here code is equal to 1 2 3, and next again semicolon print code, then name is equal to Steve. It indicates that we can execute or we can write multiple statements within a single line, but every statement should be separated by the comma. Are you getting it, students? Hello, are you getting it? How to write the statement in Python programming? Abhishek, are you getting it? How to write? It's very basic, which you require to write the program during the practical time or during the project development. It's a very basic term. Are you getting it, Amol? Ankita? Nobody has given reply. Okay. It is the third step to write the statement in a Python language. We will see it with the execution. So we have to just copy the code and we have to execute it. Here we have to write. Okay, we will check it with the execution. Okay. Hello world 1 2 3. It is going to execute here. Are you getting here what happened? We have to write multiple statement within a single line, and every statement we have to end with the semicolon. If you want to write multiple statement within a single line, at that time only you have to end every statement with the semicolon. In this case, message hello world. It is the first statement. After that we have a semicolon. Then print message. It is the second statement. After that we have a semicolon. Then code 1 2 3. It is the third statement. Again, then we have a semicolon. Then print code. It is the fourth statement. Again we have a semicolon. And last one is the name is equal to step. It is the last statement. Suppose I want to execute some another statement like suppose I want to check the type of name. We'll check it how it is going to execute. Type of name, this function it will return us the type of name variable. Here name variable which is having the string name, that it is nothing but the string. So we will check is it display the what we have to say type of the name. Okay, it is not going to execute. So we will check current option again. Okay, the print option it is going to execute. Okay, likewise we have to write the multiple statement within a single line. Okay, the next important part regarding Python is indents in Python. Indents in Python, why it is important? Because in our programming language we have a block. Block for the function, block for the class, block for the structure, block for the loop, block for the decision making structure. Every concept or the every basic terminology which is having the blocks. Now, when up till now we have seen if you want to write the block, we have to enclose it within a opening and closing curly bracket. In the C, C++, C#, Java, we are going to use opening and curly bracket to enclose the particular block. But in the Python programming, if you want to write the block, you have to give the proper indentation. Okay, how we write the indentation, we will see it with the programming language. But if we have to write the indent for particular statement, it indicates that it is the start of. It indicates that it is a block. Okay, suppose if I have a if block, then if I have to write the condition and colon. That colon indicates that it is the start of block, and whenever we have to hit the enter key, next statement should be having some space from start of the screen, and then it is going to start the writing of the code. We will see it with example, but we have to see here many times it is required to construct a block of more than one statement. For example, there are usually multiple statements that are part of the definition of a function. There can be one or more statement in a looping construct. As I have told, when we have to include the block, if we want to execute the loop, if you want to execute the function, if you want to execute the class, define the class, if you want to define the structure, at that time we have to write the block. Okay, different programming languages uses different techniques to define the scope and extent of a block of the statement in construct like class, function, conditional, and loop. In C, C++, C Sharp, or Java, statements inside curly brackets are treated as a block. As I have told, in the C, C++, C Sharp, and the Java language, we have to use opening and closing curly brackets, and opening and closing curly bracket indicates that these are the blocks. It is treated as a block. Python uses uniform indentation to denote a block of a statement. When a block is to be started, type the explanation symbol, that is colon, and press enter key. Any Python editor like ideally goes to the next line, leaving an additional white space called indent. As I have told, whenever we have to write colon, and if you have to hit the enter key, the your pointer goes to the next line, and it gives some additional white space. It's called indent, and it is nothing but the indent. Subsequent statements in the block follow the same level of indent. Whatever statement we have to write in that respective block, all the statements are going to follow the same indent level. Then, in order to signal the end of the block, the white space is de-indented by pressing the backspace key. If you want to stop the block, or if you want to close the block, then you have to enter and hit the enter key, and one more time backspace key. You have to enter backspace key to indicate that it is the end of block. Okay, we will see it with example and what we have to say on our Python shell. So here we have a simple function. Actually, we have to cover it in the next part. But for example, what do you mean by indent and how it is going to write the Python program by using proper indent? So we have to take here one example. In this example, it is a function definition. Function definition, it indicates that what is the that particular what is going to execute, and it is the function call as they have mentioned here actually. Okay, it is the function call. Here we have a syntax def, that is def. It indicates that define function name, say hello, and name. We have to pass the name to the function. Whatever name you want to pass, you can pass it. Then after that we have a colon here. We have a colon. This colon indicates that it is the start of block. That colon, it indicates that it is the start of block. Instead of opening curly bracket, what we have to write here? Colon. It indicates that it is the start of block. After that, we have to enter the you have to hit the enter key, and your cursor automatically goes to this place instead of start. So cursor इथं न येता कुठे येईल तुमचा या पोझिशनला येईल. ठीक आहे. And after that, up to the block end, it will follow the same indent label. Are you okay? So we have to execute this code on our Python shell. So we have to check here. Okay, first we have a function def say hello, and what we have to pass here, name. So don't bother about the function. Just you have to understand how the indent, how the block is going to write into the Python program. Now I want to start a block. If it is a function definition, everybody knows if it is a function definition, that means we have a block after that. So I have to write here semicolon. It indicates that it is the starting of block. After that, automatically your cursor is start here. Instead of this position, your cursor is going to start from. It will keep automatically some white space for the indentation. Whenever you have to mention here opening, colon, and whenever you have to hit the enter key, so it will keep some white space. That is nothing but the indentation, and then you can write here the message what you want to display. Print hello, comma. Now I want to close the block here. After that, I want to close the block. What happens? You have to just hit the enter key and one backspace. That means just you have to go to the start of the position. If you want to if you want to close the block, just you have to hit the enter key and backspace key, or you have to just go to the start of the position. After, in this case, I want to call the function. Now I want to call the function. And we are going to pass the name. It is a function call. So we have to save it. ABC welcome. Okay, what happened here? It is your function definition. Okay, and how we write the function definition here? Def, the function name, that is say hello, and we are going to pass the parameter name. After that, we have a start of the block. To indicate that start of the block, we have to write here colon. It indicates that it is the start of block, or it indicates that it is the function definition. After that, you can write your whole code or whole statement, whatever you want to write in that particular block. Whenever you have to enter the enter key, or whenever you have to hit enter key, it will keep some white space here, and your cursor is automatically occurred here. And then you have to write your statement. If you want to close the block, then you have to just enter where you want to close the block. Accordingly, you have to hit the enter key and go to the hit one more backspace key, or you are go to the start position of your editor, and accordingly you have to start the execution of next line or the next statement. So I want to block here the code. Okay. So we can write here end of function. Okay, it indicates that it is the name of end of function. Okay, so whenever we have to hit the enter key and and backspace, it indicates it is the end of block, and then we have to start our next statement from the start of the editor, or the start from this point. We have to start the next statement. Are you getting it? Are you getting what do you mean by indent? And every block of your Python, it is right in the indents. Okay, so this concept is very important for you. Whatever block you want to create, it should be in the proper indent in the Python language, instead of opening and closing curly brackets. Because in the C, C++, C# and Java, opening and closing curly brackets, it is quite simple. If simply just you have to write the opening curly bracket, and you are going to start the start to write the statement, and this closing curly bracket it indicates that it is the close of block, or it is the end of block, or it is end of the end of block, we can say. But in the Python programming, colon indicates that it is the start of block, and whenever we have to enter, hit the enter key, it keeps some white space to indicate that it is the block. And other statement, whatever statement we have to return into the block, it follow all the same indent length. जसं आपण इथे पाहिलं. Whatever statement we have written into the block, all these are going to follow the indentation label. हा print statement काही इथे सुरू झालेलं नाहीये, बरोबर आहे. It should be start from the same indent label. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? Hello? Am I audible to all? Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Are you getting it? How the indentation to work out? Are you getting the terms Python statement? All these concepts are very important for you if you are new for the Python programming. If you know whatever, I think some points or some terms, all these are covered in your training. I think you have finished once training, IoT training in the second year, I think, no? But the revision is important for the newcomers, those who have not attended the training. Are you getting it? Python statement, how we end the Python statement, how we write the multiple statement in multiple lines, how we write the multiple statement in a single line. Then we have started the indents in Python. Indents, these are important for the blocking, or the if you want to create the block for the function, block for the loop, block for the decision structure or the control structure. At that time we require the blocking statement. Okay, or some block of statement we want to execute. At that time indents are very important. Are you getting it? Ankita?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then the next part, that is comments in a Python. I think everybody knows what do you mean by comments. Comment, it is a very important part in the programming or the software development, because whatever code we have to return, it should be commented or commented, because suppose that comments, it indicates that the meaning of that particular statement, or it is useful for understanding in future. So you have to keep the practice to write the comment in your programming. Whatever program or whatever practicals you have to perform, accordingly you have to keep the practice to write the comment for the respective statements. Why we are going to use this statement, why we have to include these files, it or indicates that the flow of execution. Likewise, we have to include the comments in our programming language, or keep it as a practice for developing your applications or developing your projects to write the comment. Okay, in a Python script, the symbol hash indicates the start of a comment line. It is effective till the end of the line in the editor. Then if hash is the first character of the line, then the entire line is a comment. The text before it is a valid Python expression, while the text following is treated as a comment. I have given here the example. that is hash. This is a comment. It is the comment line which is start of the hash symbol. After that we have a statement print hello world. Then we can start the comment after the statement also. Are you getting it? So whatever statement we have written before the hash, it is a valid expression or the valid statement, it is going to execute. But whatever part we have to write after the hash, it indicates that it is comment, it is not going to execute in any of the language. Okay. Then it is a single line command. As we have seen in the previous example, here we have to write the comment. I think here we have to write here the comment, that is hash end of function. We can write here like saying hash function call then we can write from the start, that is hash welcome. It is a complete line which is committed if the hash is at the start position. Okay. Then it is a single line comment. In the Python, by using hash, we can include a single line comment. Actually, in Python, there is no provision to write a multi-line comment. Okay, in the Python, there is no provision to write a multi-line comment. But if you want to comment the particular block, or if you want to comment a 3-4 lines combinedly committed, then you can do it. Select the block and press Alt 3. By using that, we can comment the particular block. So we will see it how it is going to execute. Suppose I want to comment this particular block, or suppose I want to comment these 2 lines. Okay, it is depend on your execution. I want to comment these 2 lines. I can select these 2 lines and I have to press Alt 3. So all these 2 lines are going to committed, or multiple lines are going to committed at the same time. Are you getting? But they have not provided the provision to write the multiple lines comment. Are you getting it? Multiple lines in C language we are going to use here /star slash to indicate it indicates that it is a multiple line comment in a C++. But Python, they do not provide us the provision to write the multiple line comment. But if you want to comment a particular block, then simply you have to select that particular block and press Alt 3 key. Alt plus 3 key. By using that, we can comment the particular block. Then one more what we have to say provision they have given here. A triple quote multi-line string is also treated as a committed. Suppose in that case we can use single quote 3 times, and after that we can write the comment. We will check it. Is it going to execute? It indicates that the multiple line comment. By using triple quote, we can write the multiple line comment. We will check it. Is it going to execute or is it going to give error? Then is it going to execute? Are you getting it? How to write the comment in a Python? There are 3 ways. By using that, we can write a single comment or the single line comment by using the hash keyword. Then if you want to comment the particular block, we can select that particular block and enter Alt plus 3 key. By using that, we can commit the particular block. Then by using triple quote, we can commit the multiple line string. Is also treated as a commit. Okay. Then the next part, it says Python variable. I think everybody knows what do you mean by variable in C, C++, C#, Java. Variable, these are nothing but the name of memory space where we have to assign some values. and it is going to change at the runtime of program. That's why it is the variable. Okay. Likewise, Python is also variable which is having the memory space. But variables, these are the labeled to the respective values. In the Python, variable is nothing but the label to the respective value, because in a single variable we can store the value of different type. Okay, so we have to see it. Any value of certain type is stored in a computer memory for further processing. Out of available memory location, one is randomly allocated for the storage. Whenever we have to create the variable in the C++, that particular that particular variable is having some memory space, and then that name is assigned to that respective memory location. In order to conveniently and rapidly after to the stored value, it is given a suitable name. A value is bounded to a name by the assignment operator. Suppose I want to assign some value to the variable, simply we are going to use assignment operator. In all the languages, in the Python also we are going to use the assignment operator. By using that, we can assign the value to the variable. For example, we have a variable myVar, which is the name of variable, which I have assigned the value, that is 21 of type integer. Here, no necessary to declare the variable previously. So you can directly use any of the variable, and you can directly store the any type of value to the respective to the variable. Okay. So here myVar is an identifier name referring to the integer value 21. Python treats data value as a value. Then, however, the same identifier can be used to refer to the another value. As I have told, whatever identifier or whatever variable we have to declare here, it can be used for the different type of data. Okay, but in the C++, if I have to declare the integer type of variable, only integer value we can be stored into the variable. But in the Python, if I have to declare any of the variable, then any type of value we can be stored into that respective variable. That's why that variable, it is nothing but the label of value. Instead of type of value, it is the label of value. So we can assign any type of value to the to that particular variable. For example, the below code will assign myVar as the name of a string value as is shown below. So whatever variable we have to declare previously, that is myVar. So we can assign here the string, that is same string we can be assigned to the myVar. There is no error to show that the Python will not give us any error that indicates that myVar is a variable which is having the integer value. Now you are storing the step which is a string. In this case, any of the identifier or the variable identifier, these are the label of value. Okay, so any type of value we can be stored into the Python variable. Same concept, it is known as a dynamic typing. Same concept, it is known as a dynamic typing. Whatever, suppose if we have to create any of the variable and we can store the any type of value into the variable, that's why it is the dynamic typing. So what we have given here, one of the important feature of Python is that it is a dynamically typed language. Programming languages such as C, C++, Java and C# are strictly typed languages. A variable in these languages is a user-friendly name given to a memory location and is intended to store the value of a particular data type. Everybody knows whenever we are declaring the variable in C, C++, Java and C#, same type of value we can be stored into that particular variable. Okay. A variable in Python is not bounded permanently to a specific data type. As I have told, a variable in a Python is not bounded. That means it is not completely bound with any particular type of the value or the specific data type. Instead, it only serves as a label to a value of a certain type. Are you getting it, the difference? Whenever we are declaring the variable in C, C++, C#, Python, that means we have to assign the memory space or the name is given to the respective memory space. So and we have to store the specific type of value to the to that particular memory space or to that particular variable. But in the Python programming, it is any of the variable which is not what we have to say bounded with the specific data type. So we can store the different type of data into the single variable. Hence, the prior declaration of variable data type is not possible. As I have told, in the Python, we cannot declare any of the variable previously. In Python, the data assigned to a variable decides its data type and not the other way around. Okay. Whatever value we have to assign to the variable, accordingly it indicates that the type of that particular variable. In the following Python statement, a string value is assigned to a variable name. We can test its type using the type function. We have a type function. By using the type function, we can find out the type of any of the variable. So we have to check here the code, or simply all these concepts we are going to see in the Python shell. Okay, suppose we have a variable name, okay, which is having the value 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have a variable whose name is name, or I can write here the variable name, that is suppose A. A is equal to 1, 2, 3. Here A is the name of variable which is having the value 1, 2, 3. So we have to print it. Print A. It print the value of A. Then we have to check the type of A. It indicates that class integer, because A variable is having the value 1, 2, 3, which is integer. So it will indicate the type of A is integer. Suppose again I am going to use here A is equal to in double quote. I have to store one string into the A variable. I am going to display it. Print A. It is going to display. Then I want to type. I want to check the type of A. Now how it is going to what result or what answer it is going to display? Class string or the str. Because now A variable is having the string, that's why the type of A or which data the type, it indicates that the data type or the value type of the value which we have to store into the A variable. Are you getting it? Are you getting the Python variable? Are you getting it? Okay, after that we have a naming convention. Convention, these are nothing but the rules. By using that we can assign the name to the variable or any of the identifier. As we have seen in the previous slide, by using some specific rule we can give the identifier or we can give the name to the variable, function, class, structure. There are some rules. Accordingly we have to give the name to the class or the variable or the function. These are nothing but the naming conventions. The name of the variable should start with either an alphabet letter, lowercase, uppercase, or an underscore, but it cannot start with the digit. Then more than one alphanumeric character or underscore may allow. The variable name can be consist of alphabet, numbers, and underscore only. Then the identifiers are the case sensitive. So whatever name or whatever example we have given here, name which is capital, then name small, then NAME capital. All these are the different variable names in the Python also. All the naming conventions or all the rules are similar. Whatever we have to use in the C++. C Sharp and Java. Accordingly, we have to give the name to the variable and identifiers. Okay, so we have to stop here for today's lecture. I am going to call the attendance. Accordingly, give me the attendance.